Hello and welcome to the Layman's Guide to the Multiverse, where we dive into the panels and smash through the fourth wall to answer all of your comic book questions. As always, I'm Ed, and I'm joined by Paulo.
Hey,
Matt,
yo!
And Doug.
Hello.
Boys, it's part 2 of Green Lantern.
Is it really part 2 though? Like, are we not talking about, mood rings and colors and all that other jazz?
No, it's actually just 2 straight hours of Guy Gardner's sweet haircut.
It's the episode we've been waiting for.
I just gotta bring a bus with me. That's fine. That's the end of the episode.
Strap yourself into that bus, because we are diving into Ginger Bowl cuts. Let's go.
Consider us part of the Guy Gardner fan bus. There you go. Get us on that bus.
Scruffy turned a bowl into a haircut.
Oh, God. In any case, so when we left off last week, we went through this whole big episode with the talking about Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps and everything that he's been through and everything that the mythology of the Corps has been through. And as a result, we have an entirely new mythology that was built arguably in the last, 10, 15 years?
Yeah, starting with Rebirth, and then jumping right after the Sinestro. The Sinestro Corps War was a start to 2006. Literally 15 years.
I'm trying to remember. Did we bring up everything about the Sinestro Corps? Did we kind of decide everything that happened there?
Give us a SparkNote version in case we didn't.
Okay. So if you guys recall, Sinestro...
Yellow's scary.
Yes, yellow is scary. As you guys recall, Sinestro, the guy who looks like an evil space Salvador Dali, figures out that the yellow ring that he uses can harness fear, and he creates his own core out of that, his own version of the Green Lanterns, except that they are yellow rings. If you guys remember, the Green Lanterns have a weakness to the color yellow because of the yellow impurity that turns out to be the parallax entity that's been locked up inside of the Green Lantern battery all this time.
Yeah, obviously.
From 2006 on, you're saying, then they started introducing different colors to the whole Green Lantern storylines.
Yeah. Well, to kind of summarize, that was the beginning of what they called the War of Light. Jeff Johns, who was the writer at the time, he's the guy who kind of went back and looked at all the little tidbits of Green Lantern history and kind of put it all together into a cohesive, makes sense kind of situation. All of a sudden, the reason that the Green Lanterns are weak to yellow, there's a reason why. All of a sudden, why Sinestro is good with yellow, that's explained. We no longer have a situation where we're just we have no idea, why all this is happening. It's just happening because it's actually happening for a reason. There's an actual mythos to it.
Yeah. It's like Doug said last time. It's probably the best retcon ever.
So so we know we have a Green Lantern. You got your Alan Scott, you got your Hal Jordan, all that stuff going on for 50 some odd years. And some point in the 2000s, Jeff Johns says, "Okay, we have other colors that we can work with here." Did he just say, "Okay, and now Green Lanterns have been, alongside these other lanterns the whole time," or is it just nope, from 2006 comics onwards, it started and became a thing and built from there?
The Spectrums always existed. The other cores didn't necessarily exist. I guess the Violet Core, the Star Sapphire Core was around, but the...
Yes and no. Go ahead, Doug. I'm sorry. Finish your statement.
No, I was just going to say is that... the emotional spectrum still existed, but they didn't exist the entities that represented the individual colors and emotions of the spectrum weren't like contained within a power battery that would allow a core to start.
I got you.
based
So
on
the potential to so retroactively, the potential to make a core had always existed. They just didn't get on it.
Well,
Gotcha.
what Jeff Johns more or less did is, and like Doug was saying, he took bits and pieces of the history. So, for example, the Star Sapphire. Star Sapphire originally was a piece of meteorite that was became obsessed with Green Lantern, with Hal Jordan, and the entity that was possessing the gemstone would, affect someone that had strong feelings for Hal Jordan. So in this case, it was Carol Ferris, his on and off girlfriend at the time. Hal Jordan's kind of a slut.
Got it.
Oh, kind of.
Yeah, Hal Jordan was on and off a lot of women, I think.
Yeah. Jordan's been on and off a lot of women. But so what Jeff Johns did was he took the idea of the Star Sapphire and the fact that it was, a color. It was the color like violet or sort of purplish. And what he did was he gave it a backstory to how all of a sudden this could be a core in and of itself. Another kind of space force made out of
Space
that.
Force.
Yeah.
So at this point, a yellow and a violet core had been established in the story. Now, I'm using my expansive third grade knowledge to recall the old Roy G. Biv, the Colors of a Rainbow,
who has never been more powerful.
Exactly.
But like something I'm noticing is that green is in the center of that. Violet is all the way on the outside of it, and yellow is next to green. So, I assume there must be a red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet.
Good memory.
Thank you.
Ooh.
Good. From third grade, somehow still
I know,
remembering
right?
It's not like he has kids or has ever had to use that ever.
Or looked at a rainbow.
Or new colors existed.
Shut up.
Memory from third
Shut
grade,
up.
bro.
I'm trying to give him a compliment.
Can't even let me have that, Ed.
I won't let you have anything ever. Everything you are is mine.
So so that attitude Ed has. So which core would he belong to?
That would be the orange core, actually.
Look at you.
Yeah, that would definitely be orange.
Doug, you want to take that one?
Oh, I would love to. Because the orange core is one of my favorites, and just in how it's executed. So they decided that orange represents the emotion of avarice or greed in the emotional spectrum.
Which isn't even a real emotion, but that's fine.
It's a sin now.
I think it has to do with kind of like, envy in a way, but it's mostly greed. And anyway, willpower is not really an emotion either, so whatever. But the point is that orange is avarice.
Suspension of disbelief.
And right. So here's what I love about that concept is, okay, so you have all these cores that we're going to get into, the ones we've already mentioned, and then the rest that we'll get into. But the orange core only has one member because he will not share the power with anybody because he's too greedy. So there's this weird warthog-looking motherfucker named Larfleeze, who has been the sole owner of the entirety of the orange power battery and emotional spectrum for a very long time.
Or Agent Orange, if you will.
Millennia,
yes,
if you will.
Ooh, good word.
Yeah, that's what the elders call them, the Guardians of the Universe.
Agent Orange is just a dirty millennial.
Yeah, so the Orange Lantern Corps...
He won't share his avocado toast or any of the diamonds. He's killing Applebee's.
Let him finish, Ed.
It's all good. The Orange Core is composed of Larfleeze and then constructs that have been absorbed constructs of entities that have been absorbed by the Orange Power Battery in their greed. And you come to find out later through a storyline in Green Lantern: The New Guardians that these constructs still have their own personalities, thoughts, emotions, and free will to an extent. It's just that they are literally bound to obey Larfleeze.
Yeah, aren't they essentially like people he killed?
Yeah.
I remember in Blackest Night that the big bad of that story starts bringing those people back to life or makes them undead.
Isn't that the plot of Marvel Zombies?
No, I don't think so, Matt.
All right.
I don't know.
Go on, Doug.
But yeah, so you find out that basically all of the constructs aren't even necessarily constructs. They are constructed of the orange light of the Orange Power Battery, but they were at least real people, and they still maintain their personalities, feelings, and emotions, but they are slaves to Larfleeze. And Larfleeze, despite looking like a huge joke and acting like a huge joke in a lot of ways, he's no joke, because that's the thing, is every other corps has their power distributed among thousands of members. Larfleeze contains the power of an entire corps, an entire facet of the emotional spectrum by himself.
And so, like, when Hal Jordan went nuts and rebuilt Emerald City, I'm sorry, sir, what was it? Ocean City?
Coast City.
Coast City, thank you. I knew it had something to do with an ocean. Yeah, he had the entire Green Lantern battery and was able to reconstruct the city. So basically, this Larfleeze fella, he's as powerful as Parallax infected Green Lantern.
Sort of, kind of.
He doesn't show it as often, but he does have that level of power.
Hey, he's also a weirdo. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
And also in a DC comic special gave us a delicious cookie recipe.
Oh, he did. He did.
You guys have seriously baked those cookies?
I have not. I wanted to.
No, I mean, he's a weirdo because he spent, I believe, millennia by himself because, again, he can't share. He's too greedy.
No, it's not that he can't share. He won't. He does not want to.
Yeah,
well,
no such thing as
exactly
can't share. He won't share. He was forced to share during Blackest Night.
Oh,
and
yeah.
he hated it.
Yeah, he was forced to share during Blackest Night. So during Blackest Night, one other character was given the orange light of avarice.
Oh, Lex
Matt,
Luthor.
Take a guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, God damn it. I was
I'm
going to make
sorry.
that guess.
Hey, Matt, forgot I said anything. Take a guess.
Was it Tom Hanks?
Ooh, close.
I can see Tom Hanks playing Lex Luthor.
Right?
There's a snake in my boots.
Well, just to kind of give everybody a bit of an understanding. So the storyline Blackest Night is, at this point, all of the corps have been introduced, established, so to speak. And it's kind of that big crossover where now you get the whole end of why all these corps exist, what exactly is happening as a result, and why more people need these power rings. And during that storyline, all of the corps, this storyline takes place on Earth. So the DC heroes end up getting different rings from the different corps, different heroes. And in this case, Lex Luthor got an orange ring, which was pretty amazing, actually.
Yeah, that sounds actually pretty fitting for like who he is, because everything I've always read about him, he's kind of like, oh man, this Superman guy, it's no fair. He's got superpowers. I'm just going to be a evil dick.
Yeah, his reasoning for the ring is that he feels like he's the only one that can save humanity. But like it really doubles down on the like it can only be me. Like me.
Lex Luthor believes his own hype. Yeah. That's the thing. Lex Luthor is the epitome of the person who believes his own hype. He is the hype.
Which is a Spider-Man where Doc Ock switches brains with Spider-Man recently.
Superior Spider-Man.
It sounds kind of like that, where he's like, I'm a superhero, now I'm going to do it better than the actual guy can.
Well,
and
that
he makes it worse.
That really wasn't the
impetus.
No. I was gonna say with after New 52 Superman died, Lex Luthor kind of filled the void for a little bit because he's like, oh, the thing I was fighting is dead. Now I can actually he takes that sacrifice
I see.
and is like, oh, I like let me actually go save the world now.
Got it.
But
All
he,
right.
he
Yeah,
ends
that
up
lasted a
changing
hot
it.
minute.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
part of
Did
the
not
Justice
last.
League.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. He totally was part of the Justice League.
Yeah. Hell, the only reason they even the only reason he turned bad again was because once Superman was like back on his feet with Rebirth and everything,
Oh yeah.
he was like, I don't trust you, and Luthor was like, fine, screw you then, I'm evil again.
All right.
Okay.
I think we
sorry.
should move on to
Yeah,
the
no,
color
no,
spectrum.
I-
We got a lot of
no,
colors to go.
I got one last thing about the Orange Spectrum that I want to put out there because I love it. As you all know, the Green Lantern Corps and all the other corps, they have an oath that they recite to. Well, they don't have to, but they recite it to, state their vows, and also they often say it when they're either charging the battle or recharging the ring.
It's like they're getting married.
The Orange Lantern.
Ooh.
Yeah. The Orange Lantern Corps is the only corps that has never shown an oath, and I love my friend's theory about that, which is that there probably is an oath, but Larfleeze is just too greedy and would never share it with anybody by speaking it out loud.
Arthur's is a dick.
But he is. But if the Orange Lantern Corps had an oath, I'm pretty sure it'd be something like mine, not yours, mine.
I'm pretty sure that was actually a tweet Jeff Johns put out.
I'm pretty sure I hear my kids saying the orange oath almost every single day. All right, then. So to summarize, we got Green Lantern. Re-listen to Green Lantern Part 1. Yellow Lanterns got started off by Sinestro. Shortly.
They are called the Sinestro Corps. Please call them by the correct name, sir.
Oh, snap. Okay. We got
Got Larfleeze, who was pretty much just the Orange Julius of the DC universe. You ever had an Orange Julius? They're fucking tasty.
Never.
I never have, actually.
All right. And okay, so let's go over to red, the color of
Rage.
roses. Oh, I was hoping to be something cheerful.
No.
Red, the
No,
color
just
of
like-
apples.
Just
Oh, I forgot it's a murder verse.
no. This isn't the Murderverse. Come on.
Titans,
this is-
the Murderverse.
This is before the Murderverse.
All right, so enlighten me on red. How did it kick off?
All right. So the Red Lantern's home base is on a planet called Yzmalt, which
Yes.
is in Sector 666, which
Satan.
yes, Satan. No, so a long time ago, before the Green Lanterns were formed, the Guardians had a different space force. They
The
had
Manhunters.
the Manhunters, and now the Manhunters were these robotic machines, void of all
They
emotions.
were robotic machines as opposed
Yes,
to
robotic machines. Shut up.
as opposed to organic humans.
They were robots.
They could have just been in a race of Mark Zuckerberg's. You never know.
In any case,
No
so-
one escapes Elon Musk.
So the Guardians create these robots called the Manhunters. Now they are devoid of all emotions and follow pure logic.
Yeah, they're
So-
robots.
Exactly. And they're set out to police the universe like the Green Lanterns were. The problem is they followed their orders a little too extreme,
Yep.
and they believed that their programming led them to believe that they should wipe all emotion from the galaxy.
Yeah, no man will escape the Manhunter. Or I believe it's no one will escape the Manhunters.
Yeah, something
they
like that.
they took that literally.
Yes. And as a result, they caused the destruction of an entire space sector.
Yup.
Now, a space sector is a massive group of galaxies. It's not just one. And of that, there were only 5 survivors, and these 5 survivors were called the 5 inversions. Of those 5 inversions, one particular character stood out, the character of Atrocitus. He hates the Guardians. He hates the Manhunters. He hates the Lanterns because of their association with the Guardians.
Hates them.
Loathes. It is so angry that he just starts vomiting space red blood. And through his hatred, as well as the joining of the red entity of rage, I forget, the Butcher, I think
Yeah,
it's
the
called.
Butcher.
Yeah, the Butcher. He creates the Red Lantern Corps. Now, what's funny about the Red Lanterns, what's really interesting, is they have a lot of similar powers where they can create constructs, but they can't they're not constructs. They're kind of like look like they're bleeding. They look like they're on fire. And on top of that, when you get a Red Lantern ring, your heart is replaced. Like it destroys your heart, and it literally is the thing that keeps you alive because of how much you hate everything. So in order to become a Red Lantern, you have to be full of rage and
by
hatred.
a power battery.
Exactly.
Yeah, you are literally fueled by hate at that point.
So they're the Sith of the DC universe.
Sorta.
More like the Raging Hulks. Like,
yeah, if the Hulk were to get a ring, it would be a Red Lantern ring.
Nice.
Without a doubt. And
that's pretty terrifying as a thought.
Yeah, because like I was gonna say, the Hulk's upper limit is that like he gets tired eventually.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
That would absolutely replace that though.
Yep.
He would never be tired. He would just be raging anger over and over again.
Oh, would he be like the Juggernaut then at that point?
No, but he's beating the Juggernaut without a red power ring. I can only imagine he'd beat the shit out of him with it.
Well, in either case, so that's more or less the Red Lanterns. Anyone who is like very full of hatred and anger and rage in the DC universe is a respective candidate, and usually they have very tragic backstories. These characters that are Red Lanterns. So for example, probably one of my favorites, and I just have to talk about this very quickly, is a cat. There is a Red Lantern that is a cat. And his name
I know
is
you're
Dexter.
talking about, but man, you just being like, I gotta talk about this cat, bro.
No, I know this cat is crazy though.
And
This cat is such a sad story, but like you
it
understand why.
Oh, it's so sad.
I need to point out though that this isn't like Chip or Badge, the Green Lanterns that look like squirrels or chipmunks or whatever, but
or
they're
like
just
Nort,
aliens.
who's a weird cat man.
That are just alien species that look like Earth animals. This is just an Earth cat.
Yeah, literally.
Oh, dang.
It's just a fucking cat.
It's just a fucking furious cat. Like this cat is so angry that his eyes bulge out and he just spits out red vomit. And he wears the ring on his tail.
Yeah,
it's adorable.
It is, except when he's puking red space blood.
Yeah,
that
I should
burns
point out
you,
I should point out that the red vomit has properties of like napalm.
Oh shit.
Yes.
And I thought it was bad when my cat goes somewhere she's not supposed to.
So like the cat is like this abused cat. Like he's abandoned, he's abused, and this old man takes him in and takes really good care of him.
Was it a man or a woman? I forget if it was an old man or an old lady.
Was it an old lady? I thought it was an old lady. You're right. It was an old lady.
I don't remember.
Yeah, that doesn't really matter.
Regardless. So his owner takes him in and takes really good care of him, treats him really well. And he's like, now he's no longer abused. He's finally felt emotion and love for the first time. And one day they break into the owner's house. The cat is there and they start like beating.
Wait, who's they?
These crooks.
Criminals.
Oh,
Criminals,
okay.
Oh, they were just doing a crime.
Yeah, they were just doing like literally. They were coming to just steal what this poor person had. I say person because I don't remember if it's a man or a woman. Just like taking her things, and the cat tries to protect her. Like the cat's scratching at them, fighting at them because the cat's scrappy. Like the cat's big, like a street cat. He's an alley cat, and they just fucking throw him, beat him too, and then in front of the cat, they kill his owner.
Oh shit.
And then they throw the cat out like to die in the cold, and like the cat's almost on the verge of death.
Wait a second, I've heard the story before. So the cat sees it's kind of like its parent figure die in front of it, and it becomes Catman, right?
How did you know? How did you know?
I know because that 1960s show, I think it was called Catman, starring Adam West.
Starring Christopher North. Oh wait, no, I think that's actually a person. This joke doesn't work anymore.
But this cute little cat that was named Dexter.
Yeah, and then he gets a Red Lantern ring. He gets a Red Lantern ring, and he comes back and fucking murders. He finds them. Like he actually goes out, hunts these criminals down, and just fucking vomits space blood of napalm on their faces.
Oh man!
And all the while holding onto the skull of his owner, being like, "Was I a good cat?" Yeah.
Oh, it's so sad.
Man.
Don't read 3. No, I'm kidding. Read it. Be sad about it.
I'm just imagining the cat talking to the skull like Al Snow would talk to Head.
Oh,
No.
jeez. What does everybody want? My hat. What does everybody need? A warm house and someone to feed me. I'm fat. Please
Yeah.
help. I have no
I'm
thumbs.
sorry. I think this is the perfect time, though, to recite the Red Lantern Oath.
Meow, meow. Meow, meow, meow.
No.
Meow,
With
meow.
blo- no, seriously. With blood and rage of crimson red, ripped from a corpse so freshly dead, together with our hellish hate, we'll burn you all. That is your fate.
God, that's cheesy.
Meow.
All right. And
Of course, all the oaths are cheesy, man.
They really are, though.
But the point is, yeah, they just hate and hate and hate, and they want everything to burn.
all right, now before you finish your turn with talking about Red Lanterns, I want to tap 2, and we're going to talk about Blue.
Oh, Blue's so broke.
I'm surprised nobody got the Magic the Gathering reference.
Oh, that's what you meant by tap. I'm sorry.
But it is broke.
Because it's control.
Blue is
and-
broke.
Exactly. Like in
Blue always has been broke. Island is the most broken card in Magic.
First of all, lands are colorless, sir.
Ooh.
Shut up.
So you know how each core has guardians and a power battery and a planet they live on.
Yeah.
So the guardians of the Blue Lantern Corps are Eiffel 65, and everything they see is blue, like them, inside and outside.
Dabadia badai.
How did you know the oath?
Because I survived the 90s, Edward.
We've had this discussion.
I was there, man. You wouldn't know.
You don't get it, man. I survived the Great Console War of the early 90s.
Remember Aqua?
Okay, no, we're going. Yes, Aqua. No, so the Blue Lanterns.
They're blue.
Yes, Aqua.
They're blue. No, they're blue. Dabba-dee-ba-dee-die.
Keep going.
Okay. So the blue... Now, originally, they're kind of the support group for the Green Lanterns.
Yeah.
That's kind of how they start.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Now,
The Blue Lanterns are literally just a support class at the start.
at the start. And that's the most important thing to mention is at the start. They're literally the Blue Lantern Corps is not as large as any of the other Lantern Corps.
Nope.
I think there's a good maybe 20, 30 of them.
Not even. I want to say that there were like 2.
No, it's more than that. I think it's like closer to like 10.
They're okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
They never bother to dive into any of those guys.
But
Yeah.
no, you only get learn about 2 guys.
Yep.
That elephant-looking dude and Brody St. Walker.
Hang on a second. How many Green Lanterns are there? 36,000, you said?
Double that.
No, it's 7,200.
Thank
yes.
you. I couldn't remember. Okay, just want to frame a reference here.
Yeah. 7,200 Green Lanterns. It's fucking a weird gray alien looking guy with a sperm for a head and an elephant man. Those are the Blue Lanterns.
Yeah, and then like a couple dozen people they never even give a name to.
Yeah. They're literally like, hey, we got more of them. Oh, they're dead now.
Yeah. That's actually what happened.
Yeah.
It's really kind of sad. But that's because they're so broke. All right.
If they were so overpowered, Paulo, why did they all die?
Okay.
Hold on. Because they didn't know how broke they were.
St. Walker did.
St. Walker did, exactly. And he didn't want to tell people. In other case, all right. So the blue light is the blue light of hope.
Yep.
Now, hope is supposed to be probably one of the stronger emotions that people feel. So one of the really cool things about the Blue Lanterns is when they were nearby Green Lanterns,
Yes.
they were able to do just about everything that the Green Lanterns did, and at the same time they were able to supercharge Green Lanterns.
Yeah. So if if your average Green Lantern had a full 100% charge, and then they were in the vicinity of a Blue Lantern, the ring would just be like, oh, there's a Blue Lantern over here. 200%, 300%, 500%. And then the ring starts freaking out.
Do they give buffs to red, orange, yellow, and all the other colors as well?
They
No.
do different things to each one.
Do they?
So, for example, to red, they can break the fact that the heart explodes.
Yeah. I was gonna say they're the only rings that are able to heal the missing heart.
Oh.
And then on top of that, they're immune to Yellow's fear abilities.
So you're too hopeful to be scared.
Exactly. Well, that's kind of where they go with that. The fact that they're opposite ends of the spectrum. They
cancel each other out.
Yeah, they cancel each other out more or less.
Yeah.
So like yellow actually gives off an aura of fear. That's one of the abilities of the Yellow Lantern rings. Like just being a Yellow Lantern kind of makes you, regular people are scared of you. Aside from the fact that you create like constructs just like the Green Lanterns. When you're wearing a blue ring, you're completely immune to that. You're just like, what? No, slap you in the face.
Get out of here, you and your stupid yellow jumpsuit. It's dumb. One of the things I found interesting, I don't think it's ever been official, but the reason, at least like the way I like to think of it, is that the reason that the blue rings will supercharge the green ones. Yes, hope is arguably like the I guess the emotion that people feel the most. So it might be the strongest. Yeah, when people are hopeful, it's they're usually very hopeful about something. But that won't matter because it doesn't matter how hopeful you are unless you have the will to enact on that hope.
Yes,
exactly.
You like that?
Got
him.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and that has been established.
Oh, has it?
I've read that. Yeah, I've read that.
Oh,
But no, if you hadn't read that, then more power to you because you figured it out.
yeah, right.
Dumb question. How come there's only Ganesha and the other Blue Lantern that we know of, and there's only like 8 others? Why is there
because
so few?
they were created after the Sinestro Wars. So
okay.
I think we've mentioned multiple times the character of Ganthet,
Yes.
one of the Guardians. So at the end of the Sinestro Corps Wars, Ganthet realizes that locking yourself away from emotions is not going to save you from what's coming.
Fucking stupid.
Exactly. He thinks that is a dumb idea, and he thinks that the Guardians are dumb for believing that. So
this is dumb. You're dumb. I'm out of here.
Yeah. So
Please.
he and his girlfriend, because he has a Guardian girlfriend, mind you, who also is one of the only Guardians to take a name for herself.
She's a GGF.
Yes. She and he leave the Guardians and leave Oa, and they settle on another planet, and that's where they discover the blue light of hope. And they create the power battery, and they begin to recruit the Blue Lanterns.
Ah, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, so they're a small force. They're not a large force. However, which is probably one of the coolest things about this is one of the characters that actually. So I remember I mentioned the Earth heroes get rings during that crossover. Barry Allen, the Flash, gets a Blue Lantern ring.
Yep.
Oh.
Which broke as hell because he also has a Speed Force.
Yeah, I was supposed to give him any ring. He's going to be broke as hell.
No. He already is. He has the
Yeah.
Speed Force. He's got plot devices. His powers. His suit is made out of Go Fast, Matt. The Speed Force is Go Fast, and his suit is made out of that. Explain that to me. He can punch you 1,000,000 times in the dick before you know what's going on.
The reason I laugh so hard at that is because that joke has been around with us forever.
Oh my god! You know what I just realized? Speaking of gotta go fast, dude, he's Sonic the Hedgehog now.
Yes, because he's blue.
Because he's blue.
Oh, jeez.
God.
Blue blur.
All right. So how many colors have we covered? We've covered orange, blue, red. And yellow and green, obviously. So that's about 4.
We just got Indigo and Violet to go. We kind of touched on Violet. Let's go to Indigo before we go any deeper into Violet. So what can you tell me about Indigo?
Indigo is a strange bunch.
I was about to say they're interesting.
Now, were they the ones that had their father killed by a man with 6 fingers?
Oh no, that would be Inigo.
Oh,
but you're close.
Okay,
you're close.
Okay.
Yeah, man, that's not
like
too far.
usual. All you're missing is the D.
All right, there.
Are you saying Matt doesn't have one?
No, he's saying that he got punched in it too many times with Barry Allen. Doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah,
the blue blur.
That is no good.
Good Lord.
I really want Steve. What's his name? The guy that voices, or the guy that plays Steve Urkel. I really want him to voice Barry Allen now. Just come full circle.
Dude, just type in Barry Allen the Hedgehog into DeviantArt. I'm sure you get some good results.
I'm doing it right now.
No, I'm doing it right now. I don't want to do that.
We're gonna leave my findings in the description.
Oh dear God.
Okay, you know what? Let's take a break while Ed looks up Barry Allen the Hedgehog, and then when we come back, we'll go into the Indigo Tribe.
Barry Allen's a hedgehog now.
finding hedgehogs.
Man, what is it with the Japanese trying to keep us away from fuckable turtles?
That's the funny part. It's not the Japanese.
Doug! I almost choked on my hot chocolate.
That's a really good question, though. Spike me, Krypton What are we doing here?
Oh,
what is happening?
This is going to be in the intermission this time around.
All right, and we're back.
But are
Yay.
we, though? Are we really?
Are we? You pretty much took the words out of my mouth. I mean, did we ever leave?
I'm always here. I'm trapped in this podcast.
Ooh, oh, so you're actual like, you're no longer organic matter. You're some kind of
He's like Zod in the beginning of that Superman movie when he gets trapped in the mirror.
Oh,
Sort of, but I am more a digital abomination.
oh, I hate those.
My mere existence is an affront to God.
All right, so we left off. We did we talked about the Green Lantern Corps in all of the first episode. We got the Sinestro Corps, the yellow, we got orange, the me, red, kill everything to death. Blue with Ganesha and the guy with the head.
The guy with the head.
That guy with the head.
Yeah, and then Indigo.
Yes, Indigo. What a strange and compelling tribe they are.
Tell me more, Doug.
Yeah, the color indigo on the emotional color spectrum represents compassion.
Empathy.
Compassion. Yeah, compassion, empathy. Something that, seems very wholesome and very, healthy. But there is something sinister afoot.
Oh, you don't say.
Gasp.
I do say. So the indigo rings are kind of parasitic. When they attach to people, they force the person to feel nothing but empathy and compassion. And that is why the rings tend to seek out sociopaths and psychopaths. Because if they don't, the rings, when they absorb all of the other emotions around them from people through the empathic link, it can be overwhelming to people who actually feel things. So
this is complicated.
It is. So basically what it does is the indigo rings search out sociopaths and criminals and murderers and attaches to them and then forces them to feel nothing but compassion and pretty much brainwashes them into being zombie servants of the indigo spectrum.
They're just the nicest people.
Yeah.
So like it's a ring that you would get if you're a bad person and it makes you a good person?
Yeah. Sort of, kind of, pretty much.
More or less. So the unique properties of the indigo spectrum and the indigo rings. First off, their power battery takes the form of a staff, like a wooden staff, as opposed to a lantern.
And they carry it with them.
Yes, they carry it with them. They can also just manifest it, like out of air or whatever, pocket dimensions. Who knows?
I love pocket dimensions.
They're pretty great.
I like pockets. Does that help anybody?
It helps people with pants.
I like it.
The indigo rings also have the unique ability to teleport through vast intergalactic distances.
How is that different than just a vast like galactic distance?
It's not in this case because they can do that too.
I mean, honestly, this doesn't sound as interesting as the other ones we've already touched on.
They're a strange bunch.
They're probably the least
fleshed out. Yeah.
Also, their oath is nuck, 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 Knock, knock, knock. Knock, knock, knock.
You're shitting me, really?
No, I'm
they've
serious.
they've got their own language they speak in, and it's never. I don't believe it's ever been defined.
They at one point
No,
they tried to translate. They did translate it.
They started to, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember there being in like
Yeah.
when they would do like the not so much like the Dear Reader at the end of the comic, but they like DC would do like the and coming next week. They would have like 3 titles and they would give you like a small description, and they would just do like a breakdown of like one of their stories or something. And usually in the Green Lantern books, they would give you a small like translation of the language.
Yeah, it's true. And if anyone wanted to go to the Wikipedia page for the Indigo Tribe, they actually have 3 rough translations of the oath.
Really?
Yeah,
that's cool.
But that's not really the point. So the other ability of the Indigo Tribe is they can, as empaths, channel the other emotional spectrums.
Yeah, so if you want to talk about how like broken, as Paulo would put it, was the Blue Lantern, you drop one of these Indigo Lanterns in the middle of a giant war of light, and they're pretty powerful.
Yeah, because they can channel the entire spectrum of whoever's around them.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
So they can channel the red energy, the green energy, all the energies.
Yeah, they channel all of them.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is this, though. One thing to mention is the ring really only brainwashes the people who don't accept the fact that they're going to be Indigo Lanterns. So, as I mentioned,
i.e., the people it seeks out.
Yeah. Well, no. Here's the thing. Ironically enough, so Ray Palmer, the Atom, becomes an Indigo Lantern during the Blackest Night.
Blackest Night.
Yeah, he becomes a an Indigo Lantern, but he's not brainwashed by it. He actually accepts it, so he doesn't get brainwashed.
Same thing with John Stewart.
That's right. John Stewart becomes an Indigo Lantern.
He
He
does.
I forgot that he does.
Right.
Yeah, I want to say that all of the all of the Earth Green Lanterns at one point. Not that they're wielding dual rings, but they all lose their Green Lantern ring at one point, and they're just kind of they're given a handful of the other ones, and I think from Ganthet, and he's just like, all right, everybody, pick one.
Yeah, I think.
Yep. And Kyle mastered all of them.
Well, eventually, yeah.
Yeah. Guy Gardner becomes a Red
Lantern.
Yeah.
Kyle Rayner at that point becomes a Blue Lantern. Hal grabs the yellow one because he's used it once already, and John Stewart becomes an Indigo Lantern.
Yep. Actually, that is a good point though that you brought up. Is that if people accept it, it doesn't like brainwash them. But for the normal targets of the rings, like the sociopaths and whatnot, it brainwashes them to the point where if they're ever removed from the ring, they forget all of the experiences and memories they had while wearing it and revert to their former persona.
Huh. Weird.
Yeah. And last interesting tidbit, the leader of the Indigo Tribe, known as Indigo One, was a former enemy of Abin Sur, who named Erok, who killed Abin Sur's daughter.
Really? That I didn't know. Holy crap.
She's not the best.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so basically almost all of the Indigo Tribe are villains, sociopaths, and murderers. But they are basically being compelled by their rings to be compassionate empaths spreading goodwill to the universe.
Yeah, which is, ironic that that's their... So one of the things that they do is at the end of Blackest Night, when they actually defeat, the main villain, Black Hand of the storyline, they force him to become an Indigo Lantern so that he could feel compassion and try to, make up for his sins. But apparently he was so evil that they had to practically lobotomize him.
Yeah.
In the process. Yeah. They're no joke either.
No, they really aren't. And I realize we've been talking a lot about it. We haven't really explained what Blackest Night is. Blackest Night is kind of the climax of Jeff Johns' run on Green Lantern.
No, that's the middle part, because his run keeps going for a couple of years after that.
Does it? Because I remember that happening, and then it was Blackest Night, Brightest Day, and then
Wasn't he
No.
off it shortly after that? Am I
No.
going
Let's
crazy?
actually, I'm gonna interject. Let's say Blackest Night since we only have one more core to go through.
Yeah, we can jump into
And-
that after.
Yeah, and as soon as we're done, then we'll explain Blackest Night.
All right, Violet. So we touched on this one earlier. Touch it again, I guess. I don't know.
It's ironic that you discuss touching
Ooh,
because the Violet Lanterns are the lanterns of love.
they are the Star Sapphire.
They are the Star Sapphire core, if you will. So
that was something that was interesting too. That like Star Sapphire was originally a Green Lantern bad guy.
yeah, that's right. I mentioned that earlier. So the
Yes.
Star Sapphire possesses Carol Ferris, and that's so the Star Sapphire has possessed other of Green Lantern's characters like throughout the year. So for example, I think at one point he possessed one of Kyle's girlfriends. I think he possessed one of John's girlfriends at one point. 2 or 3 of Hal Jordan's girlfriends.
He's
And
a
they're all
hooer,
kind of
if you will.
So the thing about it is the Star Sapphire was that obsessive kind of like really
Stalkery love.
toxic love when it was the Star Sapphire. But once the aliens called the Zamarins, they get their hands on it and they realize, what the entity is, which I say ironically, and I don't know if that's the right word, but the name of the entity for the Violet Lanterns is the Predator.
Which is
Yeah.
yeah. The entity for the Star Sapphires is just the movie The Predator. Come on, do it. I'm here. Come on, love me. Hold me tight. It's cold outside. Come on.
In either case, the Zamarins are actually an offshoot of the Guardians. They were the part of the Guardian race.
I was gonna say the
Before-
spiteful ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, the spiteful ex-girlfriends before the Guardians were like, no, we're not gonna have any emotions. We're not doing emotions here. Okay, this is a non-emotional species. The Zamarins were just like, or Malthusians as they were known back then. No. We will feel emotions.
Yeah.
So we're gonna leave.
Yeah, later.
And then so they leave and they become an offshoot and they land on planet Zamarin and then they take the name the Zamarins and they are like these large blue, they're not large, but like kind of Amazonian tall, statuesque blue women as opposed to the Guardians that are short little blue people.
Muppets.
Little Muppets.
Muppets as they're described.
Yes. They harness the power of the Star Sapphire and they channel it inside of a central power battery along with the corpses of 2 people that were very, very deeply in love to kind of be that anchor that holds the Predator in place inside the power battery. Ironically enough, putting those 2 corpses is probably what starts the downfall of the Star Sapphire Corps during the Blackest Night. But we'll get into that. An interesting point of that is the 2 lovers that they put inside of the central power battery are Khufu and Shaira.
What?
I
Yep.
should have known. Who are they?
Who are they?
Oh man, that
It's Hawkman and Hawkgirl.
Yep.
The original Hawkman and Hawkgirl, who have
Yes.
now been retconned again and now have another backstory. I'm not gonna get into that, but yeah.
long story short, they're people and they wear bird costumes and they get reincarnated through time and space.
but their love persists.
Yeah.
But their love persists throughout the history and the ages.
Bird person.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty
bird
much.
people.
Yeah.
In either case, though, yeah, that's the Star Sapphire, and the Star Sapphires actually seek out Carol Ferris again to be
Yes.
leader of the Star Sapphires.
Yes.
When the actual War of Light starts, when the Blackest Night begins, because she's the one who's had the most experience with the Star Sapphire itself. So they think she's the one who will be able to do a great job of, controlling it.
Guys, guess what?
What?
Chicken butt.
Oh, he did it.
Booyah!
No,
Boom goes the dynamite.
So there's been a couple of I think what Paulo failed to mention here is that the Star Sapphires are usually women,
Oh, that's
there
right.
ha-
Thank you.
but there have been a handful of men. One of them being Krona, who's a former Guardian. One of the other ones being
Wait, Chrono was a Star Sapphire?
for like a cup of coffee.
Oh, okay.
Like real quick. Superman Prime was at one point too.
But take a guess who else was.
Wonder
Lex
Woman?
Luthor.
Wonder Woman was. Lex Luthor was not.
Dang it.
It's your boy, Guy Gardner.
Yes!
Wait, what? Guy Gardner was not a Violet Lantern.
The third male to belong to the Star Sapphire Corps. Guy used Kal Ferris' Star Sapphire ring along with the Red Lantern ring during the War of the Green Lanterns in order to remove Parallax from the central power battery, powering the ring with his love for his role in the Corps. At the time, he was the first male to be shown to wield a Star Sapphire ring.
Did he get
So
the...
you could say he had a love-hate relationship?
Hey-oh.
Did he
Oh,
wear?
he did.
Did he wear the ridiculous costume as well? Because that's disgusting.
He had a so half of because like his costume at the time, while he was a Red Lantern, was a version of his Green Lantern costume, but it was red.
It was red
and
and black.
had-
Red and
yeah.
black. He's so edgy.
Yeah.
He's going through his angsty phase.
So half of it was red and black, and the other half was pink and black.
Was the pink and black half like a thong onesie?
I wish.
Because that would fit the theme.
I'm hoping the collar goes up to at least his eyebrows. Glitter.
I mean, something that we have to make mention is the fact that the costume that the Star Sapphires wear, namely because they're all women, are all super provocative,
Revealing.
Well,
revealing.
they're all women, and they're all drawn by old white dudes.
Yeah, that is the biggest issue, I think.
Yeah, no. In all seriousness, that is the biggest issue. He looks retarded. I'm sorry. That's not the PC term. He looks ridiculous.
He looks ridiculous as a Green Lantern. Who are we kidding?
I'm trying to find that particular panel where he's got both rings on because it looks really silly because it's literally just like a line down the costume. I forgot though in the New 52, Guy Gardner he becomes a Red Lantern full time as like a sleeper. I don't want to say like a sleeper agent for Hal Jordan, but Hal was like, I need somebody on the Reds to that I can trust. Hal Jordan though really likes being a Red Lantern. Grows his hair out, so he doesn't have the bowl cut anymore. He's got long hair.
Hold on, I have that image, but I want to just
grows a ridiculous beard.
Yes. But I found the picture you're talking about.
Oh my god, he looks like a salty old sailor with it.
I would love if somehow the beard managed to make a bowl cut on the underside of his
I
face.
wish.
It actually almost kind of does in this picture I'm looking at. Let me send it to you.
So yeah, we can link all these in the description as well. I did find though while I was looking for this image, somebody did a custom somebody did two custom action figures, one of Guy Gardner, the other of Lobo, as Star Sapphires.
What? That's ridiculous.
It's fantastic.
All right, so I think we've done it. We've covered the entire emotional spectrum.
Sort of. I mean, we're missing the main parts. The two that aren't considered colors.
Oh, white and black?
Yeah. White and black. White and black, but I think we can cover that if we discuss the major storyline that takes place with the Spectrum.
Before we even get into that, so what the hell happens if one member from each of these factions meets up in a room? Are they going to fight each other?
Not all of the corps are at odds with each other. Obviously, the Sinestro Corps and the Green Lantern Corps, they do not tend to get along.
Usually.
The Red
But they've
Lantern
worked together
Corps,
before, though.
They have, for greater cosmic purposes. The Red Lanterns, likewise, don't tend to work with anybody except for in extreme dire cosmic circumstances.
Hell, they don't work together with each other.
Well, it's kind of what happens when you're a roiling hate monster.
You mean a boiling hate monster?
Roiling, boiling, they both work.
Doug's right. To Doug's point, they'll work together for greater cosmic purposes. The specific colors that are opposite of each other, but more often than not, they try to avoid each other. Just in case to avoid greater galactic war, if you will. That is ridiculous, Edward. So just to kind of give you this, Ed just posted the what he was talking about before, the Lobo, Guy Gardner, Violet Lantern
custom action
figures.
Yeah. We'll end up linking all of this in the description for this.
I think that should be the picture. Sure.
I'll
That's
put
the
it
thumbnail.
on Lemmy's
Yeah.
Guide to the Multiverse.com. All right.
Sick plug.
Yeah, but the Star Sapphires generally don't tend to be too much at odds with the other cores, and the green and blue cores work together. So they're not all at war with each other, but there is a very uneasy peace when there is peace, and there is often war.
Gotcha.
One of the interesting things to note about that, there was a point in time where they decided that a representative from each of the cores needed to be, like a galactic presence, if you will.
They were essentially the new Guardians.
Yeah.
I forget if all of the Guardians had died or if they were just like, hey, you stupid little blue Muppets, get out of here. But yeah, they had a representative from each core.
If I remember correctly, I think Kyle was a representative from the Green Lantern Corps at that point.
He was.
Yeah.
And within that story is where, to combat a greater evil, he had to learn how to master each of the emotional spectrums so that he could become the White Lantern.
I mean, that's one of the reasons that he's not considered the greatest Green Lantern, is because
he's really good at being a
more.
lantern.
Yeah, he's really good at just being a lantern. He's been
he's just the greatest lantern.
But wait, I thought yellow was not a lantern. I thought it was the Sinestro Corps.
Just coming back and biting me in the ass, aren't you, Matt?
Yeah,
you guys are confusing me.
Well, no. Okay, so to clarify, Sinestro is such a narcissist that he called the Yellow Lanterns, the Sinestro Corps. But yes, they are Yellow Lanterns.
It's not for nothing, man. That's a way cooler thing.
But the Sinestro Corps are the
I'm a
Yellow Lanterns.
lantern. Look at me. I got lemons. Look at me. I'm dripping.
Violet Core, Indigo Core, Blue Core, Green Core, Sinestro Core,
Yeah, exactly.
Orange Core, Red
When
Core.
life gives you lemons,
Post-hardcore.
terrorize the universe.
Oh man, that's way more interesting because if you got the Green Lantern Corps and the Red Lantern Corps and post-hardcore. And
Well, what's interesting enough about that is also, since we mentioned this, and I think it's important to kind of make mention of this, all the cores are powered by entities. These entities are the coalesced. What's the word I'm looking for? Coalesced embodiments of the emotion that they're the color of. They gain their powers literally from like all of the emotions in the universe. So, and as people feel these emotions, they channel that into their power, and that's how they channel that power into the power batteries, into the rings. So, for example, Sinestro, the Sinestro Corps, they're powered by Parallax, the fear demon that took over Hal Jordan during Emerald Twilight, and then later on, that same Parallax demon took over Kyle Rayner, and then at one point he also took over Ganthet, and then we've also have Sinestro actually joining with him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was Parallax. That was pretty nuts.
he shortly after Jeff Johns' run, he popped up in was it Forever Evil? Was the storyline that was running?
Oh,
and
I
then
think
like
so.
the greater DCU. He was wielding Parallax.
Yeah, that's right. He was wielding Parallax.
Yeah, he literally like had him on like a not a ball and chain, but like a like a collar and chain, and was like using him.
Damn.
Yeah.
I think, okay, so we've covered the cores, and I think to finish this off, the perfect place to do it would just be to go into Blackest Night, explain that storyline, and I think that we can call it a wrap after that.
Ooh, what kind of wrap? Like a seaweed wrap?
I was
It's a burrito
hoping-
wrap.
How about a chicken Caesar wrap? It's like nice and
Ooh.
plain. You can get it anywhere.
It's a myriad of colors as well.
That's true. You got like the white for the chicken. You get like the greenish yellowish for the lettuce. You got the black for the mold because it fell underneath the radiator. And
What are we doing? What is happening?
I'm talking about going and getting a wrap from my Krausers. Okay.
Oh, wait. There's a Krausers near you?
What the hell is a Krausers?
It's like an old convenience store, and like everyone I've ever been into doesn't look like they've gotten new stock since like the 80s.
Oh God. Well, So
All
just
right,
to kind
so
of-
Blackest Night.
Blackest, exactly. Blackest Night.
No. Krauser's is the real Blackest Night.
Yeah, seriously.
Well, all right. So Blackest Night is a blatant ripoff of Marvel Zombies.
Done and done. Good night, everybody.
And this is the first time Doug will not agree with me on that.
No, I don't know what you're talking about, Paulo. I think you're not making any sense. It was a completely original story that had nothing to do with the wild fame and success of Marvel Zombies.
Oh,
Right,
man.
we are not doing this again. We're not going to get to that. What
No,
I
we're
will
not.
do, what I will do is though tell you about Blackest Night. Blackest Night is I want to say it's the crescendo before like
Crescendo. Excuse you.
I'm sorry, the
Excuse you.
crescendo in Jeff Johns' run because he has a lot more that he writes after that, but this is probably like the big kind of mythology establishing crossover that comes out of the creation of all of these out of the emotional spectrum, where as a result of all of them coming to light and as a result of the Sinestro Corps War, we have an instance where we find out, and in the beginning of the DC universe, there was nothing but the black, the dark, death. There's nothing there. And there's eventually comes an intruder, what's called the white light, and the white light and the black clash with each other. Same as like the theory of the Big Bang. As a result of them clashing together, it starts to create life in the universe, starts to create planets, galaxies, stars, and in the process of that comes the creation of emotion. With that is where the emotional spectrum finally begins to take shape and shape form. The white light hides on Earth. It's its own entity, same as the entities that are the coalescence of emotions. And what the Blackest Night is the return of the black. Pretty much the black showing itself, death showing itself, and wanting to end all life and emotion in the universe.
Right. The big prophecy that Green Lanterns have been talking about for decades.
Yeah, it's literally in its oath.
Yes.
That thing is coming.
The Blackest Night. That thing is coming. Exactly. And ironically enough, what they talk about in that whole Blackest Night line was never a thing in Green Lantern before this run. Like Jeff Johns was just like, all right, you know what? I'm finally going to make something out of this. I'm finally going to decide, okay, what the hell is the Blackest Night? The only thing that we knew about the Blackest Night was a small prophecy that was written by Alan Moore back in the 70s, where he introduced the 5 inversions and they prophesized the Blackest Night. That was it, but they never told anybody what the hell the Blackest Night was supposed to be. Jeff Johns actually gave it shape, gave it form.
Yeah. It was pretty much just Alan Moore just being, a crazy homeless guy just praying to his snake god.
So just to kind of give you a small kind of understanding of what the Blackest Night does is the Black Lantern rings start spreading across the galaxy. Now what these rings do is they latch onto corpses of these characters, but instead of actually like reanimating the corpses, they create like a new kind of,
they download the host's memories and essentially uses the body like a puppet to bring out its worst emotions, like the worst of that person.
Exactly. It uses it as a puppet and uses its memories to manipulate the living, to make them feel emotions so that they
can
the
feed
Black
off
Lantern,
of them.
Yeah, so the Black Lantern could then feed off of them, kill them, turn them into Black Lanterns when they get a black ring, and as they're draining the emotions from them, they are fueling up a force that you eventually come to find is the embodiment of the black, which is Necron.
Yeah, but the embodiment of death is pretty much just a skull-headed dude with a big scythe. Like he's another character that he was just a random throwaway character that nobody knew who the hell he was. Like he showed up in maybe like 2 or 3 stories before that, like back in the day. Nobody
Back
paid
in
him
the
any
day.
mind to, and then all of a sudden he's the big bad of the story. And also the fact that Black Hand, William Hand, as we as we spoke about, I think in the last episode, he's the herald of the Blackest Night. That's the reason why he's so obsessed with death. That's the reason that he kind of becomes like the zombie looking dude. He loses his hand. He's able to absorb the energies of the other Lantern Corps with his like cosmic rod, is to help make that happen. And then one of the first scenes that you see is actually, this happens a little bit after the death of Batman. So Batman, in another storyline called Final Crisis, Batman, and I say in air quotes, dies.
Spoilers,
yes. Batman dies, and
that scene is so cool.
Yeah, that scene is really cool though. And what Black Hand does is he digs up the body of Batman, of Bruce Wayne, and is just walking around with it, prophesizing the Blackest Night, telling people that it's coming, and then Black Lantern rings show up and freaking emotional zombies show up everywhere. I'm hesitant to use the word zombies. Emotional revenants.
Emotional dead puppets. Emotional not living Pinocchio.
And the other thing,
Meat
the other thing
puppets.
is
Gross.
That's a good one. One of the interesting things about that is it doesn't affect any character who's like at peace with his death. So Dove, one of the an older character from back in the DC universe,
who's an agent of order, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah, Hank Hall would. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Hank Hall is the is his brother. Excuse me. But keep going.
They try to possess the body of Dove, and they can't.
Yeah,
there's like this.
Nope, not happening.
Yeah, there's this barrier that stops the rings from getting through to him.
It's a barrier of white light,
which kind of harkens back into the whole idea of the white light being its enemy, and the white light being on Earth.
Yep.
So the whole point of the story is that Necron comes to Earth. The whole reason that this Black Lantern is powering up and getting stronger is so that it can bring Necron to the realm of the living, so that he can come to Earth and kill the white light of life. Pretty much is what it is, because the white equals life.
Yeah.
Right.
It's pretty much just Necron using his machinations to wipe out all life and take over, to bring things back to the way they were. It's pretty much the plot of Final Fantasy IX.
See, I never played Final Fantasy IX, so I don't even know.
Well, you don't have to. You read Blackest Night.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair. I'll accept that over accepting Marvel Zombies as Blackest Night.
No. I'm dead serious. Like, play Final Fantasy IX, and then you'll get about halfway through, and you're gonna be like, oh my god, Ed was right.
I hate that so much.
No, dude, seriously. Like, the main bad guy literally is Necron. Like, I'm not kidding.
I hate that so much. Don't ruin it for me. It's still one of the coolest
stories.
Doing it.
I'm ruining it for you.
It's still one of the coolest stories because it really does a great job of reaching into the mythos of the DC universe. They talk about all of the characters who have died and passed away before everything that happened in this storyline. Like, it affects, the fact that Barry Allen's come back from the dead. It talks. Yeah. Okay, I think that was what it was. It's a note on the idea of superhero deaths and what they actually mean.
They literally, I don't remember if it was Necron or if it's one of the other characters, but they're literally like, this started with Superman. Like if death was a doorway, Superman, cracked the door open. Mm-hmm. The death of Superman is what cracked the door open, and then everyone else dying and coming back to life just turned it into a revolving door.
Oh, that's right. It did say that.
Didn't Necron also say that, like, he allowed them to come back?
Yes.
So that he could use them later?
Yeah. Yeah, well, he did. He turned them all into Black Lanterns.
Yeah.
Right.
Everyone who passed away, Aquaman, Superman,
Aquaman,
Barry Allen.
Superman, Barry Allen. Oh, no. Well, Barry Allen was running away from it.
Oh, hold on, no. That's a cool part. So go ahead, continue.
But pretty much anyone who had ever died, Necron could pretty much just snap his fingers and he was sending a black ring at you.
Even if you were alive again. Like, that's the whole thing. So, like, at one point, so at this point, Necron shows up in the story. Like, the big bad finally reveals himself as this gigantic scene where in Coast City, all of a sudden, this giant Black Lantern just rips open from the cemetery in Coast City.
Speaking of Coast City, I think this is actually this scene, but he resurrects the city.
Yeah. So Coast City is back. Like Coast City has come back as a result of everything that happened in Rebirth. If you recall, we talked about that.
Chilling.
And people have started moving back into the city. People live there, and then all of a sudden, the ring charges up to full power. The lantern charges up to full power.
Well, when Paul, I'm sorry to cut you off, but as you were saying, like when the lantern is charging to full power, when these other Black Lanterns, when they were getting a rise or getting an emotional response out of these other people, and then would consume the heart and their emotions, they would there was kind of a counter that was going that was charging this there was a counter that was going up,
like 25%, 26%,
right
37%.
Doug, you were talking about it earlier, and like you had alluded to this earlier, but that's what this was coming to. They were summoning Necron with each thing they killed.
And so Necron, so the Black Lantern just rises up from the cemetery in Coast City, and Necron is just standing there. Like Necron comes out and he's just like, all right, I'm the big bad. Here's what I'm going to do. Black Hand hands him the skull of Bruce Wayne. And what he needed was some kind of emotional tether so that he couldn't actually like take control over the greatest heroes in the DC universe. And because Batman had been this emotional tether for all of them, all of a sudden this Batman zombie-looking creature just starts spitting out black rings that get on Aquaman, they get on Superman, Superboy.
Yeah.
Who else did it affect? A bunch of people, a bunch of major characters.
Every hero present who had ever died.
Exactly. What's his name? Oliver Queen.
Mm-hmm.
They all get Black Lanterns and they become Black Lanterns. So all of a sudden you're just like, oh Jesus, what the fuck?
Oh yeah.
The Flash, Barry Allen, grabs Hal Jordan and runs him into the future 2 seconds so that the Black Lantern ring can't catch them.
What?
Exactly.
It's fucking broke.
Exactly.
That's the Flash.
That's the Flash. That was so. It's one of those moments that are just like absolutely insane that he breaks time so that this Black Lantern can't catch both of them because it was coming at both of them.
Yeah. Well, what was neat about this too is I want to say while this is going on, Martian Manhunter, Jean Johns, who had been dead, comes back to life and now is just wrecking everybody. And they're like, people are like, they're trying to like talk him out of this. But
it's not him.
Right, of course it's not him. But they're all like, oh, Johnny, what are you doing? Here's some Oreos. You love these things. And he's like, nah, man. And he's smacking everybody down.
I'm not about Oreos anymore.
No,
all about them hearts.
Yeah, no. He's all about murder. One of the coolest parts of this entire thing when like they're just throwing heroes at this guy, and he's like, yeah, everybody is talking about all my mind powers and everything, but like you forget, I'm as strong as Superman.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And he just wrecks everyone.
Just destroying everyone. So what we find out during this is that the only way to defeat the Black Lanterns is by combining emotions. So like now the lanterns, the different cores have to actually work together in order to be able to stop this. And this isn't like it's just happening on Earth. This is happening across the galaxy.
It's happening across the universe, dude.
Yes.
It's not just the galaxy. It's not just a sector.
Yeah.
It's everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, so Jon Stewart back in the day, he failed. Like his greatest failure as a Green Lantern was allowing the planet of Shanxi to explode. Like that planet was destroyed because he wasn't strong enough to save it.
I'm so glad you explained that. I'm sorry. Just he failed. Okay. How? What?
How? His greatest failure was the death of Shanxi, the planet, and the entire planet and its inhabitants get resurrected by the Black Lanterns.
Nope. Hell, on that same wavelength here. So like the big bad of Crisis on Infinite Earths, the Anti-Monitor, comes back to life as a Black Lantern.
That's right. I forgot about that. That's incredible. But like I said, that's what that's so to say that that's the crescendo is correct. There's a lot more to Green Lantern after this. And I hope you guys, give it a chance and try to read it because there's so much more to go because Jeff Johns, he wrote this story and then he kept writing it. And he actually, if you could end a serialized story like this, I think he's the first person to ever actually write like an ending to all of these characters that he wrote. So
I don't know about the only, but he wrote a very, very great ending.
Yeah. Like I hope you guys give it a chance. Read past Blackest Night. Keep reading afterwards. I hope in what we've explained, we gave you some interesting stuff that will get you guys reading. But know that if you read all the way through Jeff Johns' run, you will find a satisfying ending, because it was probably one of the most satisfying closures to the chapter of a comic book, and written over 12, 15 years that he wrote it for, where he left it ready to go. Like, if they would have ended Green Lantern there and then,
yeah, you're like, okay, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
I felt bad for the guy that had to write after.
Yeah, I feel bad for anybody who has to write after that.
I don't feel bad for Grant Morrison.
I haven't read it yet.
It's
I
good.
can't bring myself to.
Dude, it's good.
All right, well, I guess that's the point of this. That's the point of this podcast, is getting people to read. I might have to start picking that up again.
Yeah,
it's Men in Black it's not just on Earth though.
But but to summarize, basically this both parts of this 2-part episode was an homage to Paulo's love affair with Jeff Johns running Green Lantern. And the thing is, it's deserved. It was a great run, a great reboot. Everything he did was pretty much masterfully done. He reignited a franchise.
All right, then. So for the folks like me, then, so what's the reading list? Emerald, Twilight, Darkest Night?
Blackest Night.
Blackest Night. So quick recap. So to go for it. Emerald, Twilight, Green Lantern Rebirth, and then start reading from Green Lantern. I believe it's volume 4. Just start reading from number 1 onward. And once you start doing that, it'll branch out into what else you want to read. If you're interested in the side characters, you can start reading Green Lantern Corps. That starts around halfway during that run after the Corps are reignited. You get introduced to a lot of the zany characters in the Green Lantern universe. Get introduced to Buzz, the Mosquito, Green Lantern, more Guy Gardner.
I was about to say your boy Guy Gardner.
Guy Gardner, Sodom Yat. There's a bunch of really interesting characters out there that this mythos brings about. So absolutely should give it a shot.
Yes, I recommend it. I mean, I might tease Paulo for how much he loves this, but he loves it with good reason, because it's great.
It really is.
All right, then, folks. Let's wrap it up. All right, everybody. Have a good night.
Take care, guys.
Night.
If you have questions, a topic you would like us to cover, or wish to simply tell us all the facts we screwed up, feel free to contact us at Layman's Guide to the Multiverse at gmail.com. Also, feel free to visit our website at laymansguidetothemultiverse.com. Our intro music is Dance Rocket, off the album Descent of the Goober Monster by Jesse Spillane, and is licensed under an Attribution 4.0 International CC by 4.0 license off http://freemusicarchive.org. Our intermission music is Crinoline Dreams by Kevin MacLeod off incomptech.com, licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0 license, http://creativecommons.org/license/by/3.0/ and our outro music is Miami Nights Extended Theme, also by Kevin MacLeod, off incomptech.com, licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0 license, http://creativecommons.org/license/by/3.0/